Well, hello, 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 hello. This is Mama Ro coming to you from Chicago. How is everybody doing on today? I hope you're doing good. Hope you're feeling good. And all those good things. Well, today I am coming to you. Let me see. We're going to talk about R. Kelly. R. Kelly, who is the famous R&B singer, songwriter, although they say he can't read and write that good. But anyway, songwriter, Grammy Award winner, R. Kelly. Most of us knows his music. We know that also he is in trouble with the law. But what made me want to talk about R. Kelly is because something that just happened lately. Um, the landlord of where his studio is located I think that's Chicago, the west town of Chicago, like West Loop area of Chicago. The landlord wants to get paid. R. Kelly is in way behind in rent, as you know. He is currently locked up for the charges that have been placed against him. And so he has not been paying the landlord. Okay? So um the landlord want their rents. They want their rent. So they went to court. The landlord went to court and the court ruled in the landlord's favor, and the landlord secured. They was able to get a $3.5 million judgment. Yeah, it's a lot of rent, isn't it? But if you renting out a studio, because it was studio, I think it was even apartment in there. So according to the documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, they said they would be sleeping in there, and so it's apartment or it's room for beds or whatever. Um, so the $3.5 million judgment is to cover the rent, of course, and also repairs. The place needs to be repaired. So hey, and on top of that, because they won the judgment, now R. Kelly's label, which was his last label, singing label, he was with Sony. Sony. So now Sony has been ordered to pay the landlord R. Kelly's all of his royalties that's in his account, money, royalties, money, that he has in his account, which sums up to about 1.5 million. And so, the landlord is like, I'll take that if I can get it. It ain't the 3.5, but I'll take the 1.5 million if I can get it. So Sony has been ordered to pay the landlord all of R. Kelly's royalties that is in his account, which total $1.5 million. So, and I was like, wow, this is one thing after another with this guy. And I was just thinking, I was like, R. Kelly is in jail. He's been in jail for over a year. Off and on for over a year. The last I heard about him in jail was that this guy was beat him up. Didn't try, but this guy did actually beat him up. One of the prisoners there, inmates there, beat him up, and just one thing after another with this guy. And so I'm like, what is he? I mean, I can't go over all the charges because it's a lot of charges, but most of them consist of um, child pornography. Most of them consist of sexually abusing of minors, even kidnapping. I was like, wow, they even put kidnapping in there. And the charges just go on and on and on. But what caught my attention also was that President Trump, not too long ago, pardoned Jack Johnson, who was charged with the Mann Act. How many of you all know what the Mann Act consists of? Mann, Mann Act. Okay. The Mann Act was passed in 1910. All right. And it's also known as the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910. And it is a federal law. It is a federal law that criminalize the transportation of any woman or girl for the purpose of prostitution. As far as any other in or as if for if for the purpose of prostitution, also for any other immoral purpose, whatever that may be. So back in the early 1900s, Jack Johnson, which was the first black heavyweight champion, boxing champion of the world. He was charged with the Mann Act. Actually, the Mann Act was really created. It was written for him because he loved white women. Jack Johnson loved white women back in the day, and he would transport them and have them traveling with him and things of that sort. He was charged with the crime of violating the Mann Act, which was basically created because of him. Okay, and so he ran. He ran from the law for years. For years, he ended up coming back to America because he even went to other countries, but he ended up coming back to America and had to do some time in jail because they did finally arrest him because they said that he committed the Mann Act. I'm sorry, he broke the federal law of the Mann Act. Kind of find out the Mann Act was all. I thought the act was gone. I mean, I haven't heard this in so many years about the Mann Act or the Mann Law, but it is still around because guess what? R. Kelly has been charged with the same. Uh, has been charged with the same criminal law of breaking the Mann Act. Wow. I didn't think this act or this federal law was still around, but guess what? It is. It's still on the books, and so he's charged with one of his charges. R. Kelly charges is with violating the Mann Act. Yeah, by transporting a victim interstate and violating New York law by reckless endangering the victim. Isn't that something? The Mann Act is still on the books. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, I mean, I don't know if R. Kelly would ever uh, well, we know he's not getting out of jail right now, but eventually he will have to go to trial. Eventually, I don't know when it's gonna happen because they keep pushing the dates back and all of that. So, but I was just really surprised. I was like, wow. But it's really something to see that this act is still around now. It has been upgraded. This federal law has been upgraded to include trafficking as well. It has been upgraded. So, it's still on the books and it's still, people can still be charged with it. Yeah. So, R. Kelly, it's just like I said, just one thing after another. Now, I did get around to finally watching the documentary, and I was like, wow, I had no idea that R. Kelly and myself. I was born and raised in Argyle Gardens, which is a housing. It didn't used to be called a project. They call it a project now. When I was coming up, it was called Argyle Garden Home. So it's a community of families, row houses, nice size apartment houses, And come to find out R. Kelly had lived in Argyle Gardens. I didn't know that until I saw the documentary. His brother was saying how they grew, how they was living in the Argyle Gardens community. I was like, what? That's where I grew up at. I grew up, born and raised in Argyle Gardens, which is a far south side community, right on the borderline. If you know the Chicagoland area is right on the borderline of Chicago, because right across the bridge is Riverdale, Illinois. So that was just something. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then come to find out he has a brother named Bruce, and so do I. I was like, whoa. I didn't know we had anything in common, but we do. My brother's name, only brother, one brother, 6 sisters. His name is Bruce as well. So, just a little tit for tat, I guess. But yeah, so it was like, wow. So that's the latest thing. That's the latest that's going on with R. Kelly. His label Sony had to give up his royalty money, which amount to again $1.5 million, that the court has ordered to be paid to this landlord of his studio building for rent and for repairs. So, I know there's still a lot of people out there that don't believe R. Kelly is guilty, but it just seems like he has so much against him when it comes to these young ladies, young girls. He likes them young. He likes them young. So, and it's coming back to bite him. It's coming back to bite him as far as his desire, for young girls. Because now, it all depends on which state you live in. Because I know here in the state of Illinois, 16, I think it's up to 16, is still considered as statutory rape. It's against the law. Okay, I don't know, like I said, where you live, but I know here in Illinois it's 16. And so he was messing around with girls that was young. But then I noticed, in going back to the documentary, the way they played it out is that he started dealing with girls that was like 17 on their way to being 18, because he was what he was doing was trying to break the law, but yeah, it's just really something. It's just really something. So that's the latest on R. Kelly. Hopefully he'll come to trial soon, and things will be worked out. Go to jail. He probably end up in jail. He probably will. So it's just really something to be sitting in jail as long as he been sitting in jail. No bail, no bail out. Although he was out a couple of times, and since he's been in jail, as you all know, the 2 young ladies he was living with, one of those young ladies went on about her way. What's her name? Azrael. She ended up going back to her family and going. I saw her doing a photo shoot on YouTube with this young lady that has a YouTube channel. So she's going on, and then the girls got into a fight. Her and is her name Jocelyn, whatever. Those 2 girls that he was living with, the last 2 girls, they got into a fight. It was just a mess. They all broke up. So one of the girls is still with R. Kelly, allegedly. So, she's still with him. But the other girl, she's gone about her business, Azrael. She's gone on. So it's just a mess. It's a mess, and it's really sad too. Really sad. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. And again, this is Mama Ro coming to you from Chicago. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And have a great day.